Peppa always dreamed of learning how to bake. She often asked her parents to let her try baking cookies or cupcakes, but they worried she might burn herself or make a mess. Whenever she brought up the idea of cooking something complicated, they firmly refused. Instead, they encouraged her to help Mummy Pig with simpler tasks, like stirring cake batter or sprinkling toppings on pizzas. But Peppa wanted to make something special all by herself, something grand, like a beautiful layered cake decorated with colorful icing. One afternoon, while her parents were busy in the garden, Peppa found a recipe book on the counter. It had pictures of cakes covered in swirls of frosting and topped with chocolate shavings. Inspired, she decided to try baking on her own. She pulled out flour, sugar, eggs, and butter and got to work. George came into the kitchen and watched her curiously. "Are you sure you know what you're doing?" he asked. "Of course," Peppa replied confidently. But as she mixed the ingredients, she spilled flour everywhere and accidentally added too much baking powder. The batter puffed up like a balloon, and when Peppa tried to move the mixing bowl, her hand slipped, sending it crashing to the floor. Batter splattered across the room, and George jumped back with a yelp. "Oh no," Peppa groaned. But determined not to give up, she cleaned up the mess and started again. This time, things seemed to be going better. The cake was baking nicely, and the kitchen smelled amazing. Peppa felt proud of herself, but just as she was about to take the cake out of the oven, George noticed something. "Peppa, smoke!" Peppa gasped and opened the oven. Smoke poured out, and the cake had turned dark and crispy. Peppa's heart sank. "Oh no, I ruined it." Just then, Mummy Pig and Daddy Pig rushed inside, worried about the smoke. Seeing the mess, Mummy Pig gently hugged Peppa. "It's okay, sweetie. Baking takes practice. Why don't we try again together?" Peppa sniffled but smiled. With her family's help, they made another cake. This time, perfectly soft and fluffy. Peppa proudly decorated it with frosting, sprinkles, and a big chocolate heart on top. That evening, they all enjoyed the cake together. George grinned, licking frosting off his fingers. "Peppa, you're a great baker now." Peppa beamed with pride, realizing that sometimes the best way to learn is by trying again, especially when family is there to help.